What we do with our working group updates is we will show you a video first, and then our working group chairs will come up and join us for a quick panel discussion. So let's get an update from our working group chairs, and this is all thankfully sponsored by ACOM. So we'll move on to that now.
I'm Mark Stapley, National Lead for Traffic Control Engineering at ACOM. And I am both proud and excited that ACOM are once again sponsoring the Traffic Technology Forum working groups. The working groups provide a key gathering point for professionals, innovators, and thought leaders in the transportation industry. They bring together people who share a common goal to push the boundaries of technology and innovation to build safer, more efficient, and more sustainable transportation systems for the future. At ACOM, we believe that progress in transportation technology is essential to shaping the world of tomorrow. That's why we are passionate about supporting events like this one, where ideas are exchanged, partnerships are formed, and new solutions are born. As a company, we are constantly looking for ways to drive innovation in transportation, whether through developing cutting-edge solutions, fostering collaboration, or simply being part of the conversation about the future of mobility. The future of transportation is full of promise, and we're excited to be part of that journey. From connected vehicles to green energy solutions, the working groups and the TTF conference itself give a chance for all of us to come together, share visions, and take actionable steps towards a more connected, efficient, and sustainable future. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Andy Graham and I'm chair of the Connected Vehicles Group. We're using connected vehicles to deliver policy aims like safer roads, growth and network resilience. And we recently organised a show and tell for connected services at UTAP Millbrook, which was both highly valued by DFT and DSIT senior guests. But if I'm really honest, the 11-year-old in me had great fun to do with demonstrating warnings of collisions to drivers of approaching emergency vehicles. But that's another video. We want to ensure there's a clear business case for connected services and data, as government is now seeing the benefits of what we do to assist policy. So we need to continue to show these are not concepts that need development, but are here and now and offer real benefits for local transport. And increasingly, local authorities are piloting automation as well. So I'm really pleased to announce we'll be helping the first movers in local authorities autonomy group to share their learning, like we've done for connectivity. So watch this space for some announcements on that. And for the next year, I'm really keen to refine what we'll be displaying at the ITS World Congress in Birmingham in 2027. 2 years may seem a long way away, but the clock is ticking and it's 6 months since I first said that. But above all, I look forward to working with the other working groups to move towards a connected ecosystem. I used to fine people £1 for using that word, but we really are getting there now. Thank you very much indeed.
Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to welcome you all today, and I want to thank you for your continued dedication to shaping a more sustainable, inclusive, and future-ready transport network. On 18th of March, we held our most recent face-to-face working group conference, bringing together local authorities, central government, and industry leaders for what was another important step forward. The event was not only a space for meaningful dialogue, it was an opportunity to align around best practices and showcase breakthrough innovations shaping the electric vehicle charging landscape. We are proud that this group is increasingly recognized as a national platform where innovation in EV charging infrastructure can be shared and scaled. From community-led pilots to cutting-edge solutions, our innovation showcase continues to spark ideas and real-world impact. Our mission is clear: to create an inclusive, secure, and sustainable EV charging network, working in close collaboration with colleagues in the parking and transport sectors across the UK. And this isn't just about infrastructure, it's about enabling a broader societal shift. Together, we have the potential to accelerate the adoption of electric vehicles, improve air quality and reduce transport-related emissions, and deliver local economic benefits by creating jobs and supporting green supply chains. At our March session, we also heard powerful insights from the Office for Zero Emission Vehicles, which reminded us of the critical importance of getting our commercial relationships right. Local authorities were advised to avoid common pitfalls in contracts, such as setting concession fees or revenue shares too high, or introducing punitive termination clauses, all of which can make projects unattractive to private sector investors. A key takeaway was the need to implement revenue shares after deducting electricity costs to maintain commercial viability. And while EV adoption continues to grow, insights from ZapMap's latest survey highlighted a new concern: the rising cost of public charging. While those with home chargers are paying 2 pence per mile, public network users are paying closer to 17 pence, leading to falling confidence in the cost advantage of EVs. It's a timely reminder that our infrastructure strategy must not only be smart and scalable, but it must also be equitable and affordable. We also explored innovation around curbside booking platforms, such as Grid Smarter Cities system, well suited for city centers and car parks, but less applicable in residential streets where flexibility is the key. It's about finding the right tools for the right locations and ensuring both planning and turn-up-and-go users are supported. The session also reaffirmed the growing importance of accessibility, with forecasts that by 2035, 2.7 million disabled drivers in the UK may be relying on public EV charging points. Our group is committed to ensuring that universal design and inclusive access are embedded from the outset. We were also reminded of the need to prioritize cybersecurity in EV infrastructure planning, getting it right at the design stage, not as an afterthought. Importantly, the call to action was loud and clear. Move from pilots to delivery. We do not need to reinvent the wheel. Local authorities were encouraged to copy your neighbor's homework using proven protocols and best practices already in play. Looking ahead, our 2025 roadmap includes 2 key webinars scheduled for July and September, designed to support practical delivery. The July session will focus on bid writing and funding, and the September webinar will explore the Public Procurement Act 2023 and its implication for EV infrastructure deployment. Each webinar will also feature one innovative EV charging solution as we continue to highlight what's working and inspire broader adoption. These sessions will be strategically positioned between the Transport Technology Forum's spring and autumn conferences, ensuring continuity and momentum throughout the year. In closing, I would like to thank everyone in this group for your expertise, your collaboration, and your shared ambition. This forum continues to embody the best of public-private partnership, and together we are making real progress in building the EV infrastructure of the future. Thank you, and I look forward to the discussions ahead.
Hi, I'm Steve George, and I lead the TTF UTMC working group. At the last TTF update, I reported that one of the key outcomes from meetings held with ARTSM and suppliers regarding the future scope of UTMC was a proposal that the current UTMC specifications should be transferred to Topaz as the UK's principal repository of open specifications for traffic systems. This reflects the reality that these specifications are now mature and well embedded in both the supply marketplace and deployed systems. Since then, both the UTMC Steering Group and UTMC Limited shareholders, as owners of the UTMC technical specifications, have been consulted and agreed to the proposal. I'm now pleased to report that, with the formalities done, the transfer of UTMC specifications to Topaz has been completed, and as a final step, the specifications page on the current UTMC website will be altered to point straight to Topaz. Looking to the future, UTMC has often been described as the glue between systems, and this remains the case. But now the glue is focused less on technical interfaces, but on broader objectives that address the functional and operational aspects of integration. We aim to do this through the development of current informed guidance on implementation and standards linked into the Manual for Smart Streets. Working with support from LCRIG, our current short-term work programme aims to deliver a pilot project in the area of future bus priority requirements, bus connectivity, and bus priority benefits. We'll be working with RTIG in this as the UK's core forum for bus industry standards and technologies, and building on an ongoing series of successful collaborative events. During this time, we will also work to define the longer-term objectives for UTMC over the next 3 to 5 years. That's all from me, and thank you for listening.
Hi, I'm Sarah, Chair of the Smarter Parking Group for the Transport Technology Forum. This year within the group, we've explored a number of key aspects of smarter parking and how it supports both local and national transport objectives. From data standards to enforcement innovations, our aim remains clear: to help authorities and stakeholders unlock better outcomes through technology. A major area of focus again this year has been the National Parking Platform. With the Department of Transport scheme operational for 10 local authorities, we're entering an exciting era with the creation of the MPP Consortium. This independent body is looking to carry the platform forward, ensuring it remains scalable, neutral, and built around the needs of local authority, technology suppliers, providers, and users as a not-for-profit organisation. The Smarter Parking Group is supporting this transition, helping to shape a governance model and roadmap that prioritises openness through the standards set out in APDS, the Alliance for Parking Data Standards. We've also been actively supportive of the National Persistent Offender Database, MPED, which is designed to bring together enforcement data streams and link them with government departments and the Police Tutelage Service. This connective approach enables more intelligent decision-making, driving local authorities to give a clear time picture of the compliance and how this can be improved while saving LA's money. MPP is a vital piece of the puzzle in making enforcement not only more efficient, but also more appropriate and transparent. Technologies like drone-based infrastructure surveys are currently being pioneered by Sunil in Coventry, further complementing this picture, offering a high-resolution data on traffic flows and asset conditions without the need for disruptive on-site surveys. This type of innovation is reshaping how cities are planned and respond to demand. Through all of this, our group continues to emphasise collaboration, digital inclusion, and data standards as smarter parking tools become more powerful. It is vital they also become more accessible. Looking ahead, the combination of MPP, NPED, emerging data platforms offer a real opportunity to transform how local authorities manage mobility, and we're proud to be helping lead that journey along with our colleagues in connected vehicles and DTROs.
What a 12 months it has been for the Digital Traffic Orders project. Since we last went to TTF last April, we have entered into private beta. We've essentially built the service. We have passed our GDS service assessment, which is what gives us the right to go into public beta in the near future. Let's just stop a moment and think what a huge thing that is to have gone from nowhere in terms of beta, really, last time I was talking to you guys in Hinckley, to having an up and running service. We have received 12,000 orders, maybe 13,000 orders into the service by the time you hear this. That's a fantastic achievement for the project. Also, we've done a huge amount of stakeholder engagement, endless technical webinars, regular webinars, probably averaging one a month, very well attended between them. We've spoken to stakeholders like the blue light guys. We've spoken to various data consumers. We also we also took part in a dedicated DTRO conference earlier this year. That was fantastic to see it so well attended, not to have to organise it. Thank you to everyone who did that, who attended, who sponsored it. It was wonderful just to rock up and be able to do the liaising and the talking. Also, importantly, the consultation around digital traffic orders has now closed. Watch the skies over the next few months to hear the outcomes of that, including, crucially, when it's going to become a legal requirement to send your orders into the service. But if you've got your solution in place, whatever that may be, don't delay. Just join the service once we go into public beta and start sending your traffic orders into us. Thank you. It's been great working with you.
Let's bring our working group chairs up onto the stage for you now. So if we welcome Andy Graham, who has just joined us, was completely keen. We're just waiting. Sarah's on her way. Steve George is here. Dave Denner from Streetwise, who we haven't heard from yet, and Shamala from Electric Vehicles, and Sarah's on her way up now. I want to start actually with you, Steve, because you could see that the conversation about UTMC and Topaz could be seen as quite a dry subject, but actually for those that it affects, it really does affect and it really does matter, doesn't it?
It does matter, actually, because UTMC standards and specifications have been around for a very long time. And like we say, they're mature. They are well integrated into our systems and their supplier chains. But it's important not to lose that and to actually build on it. And I think the movement to put the specifications with Topaz is really important because that's the best place for them to be. It also frees up UTMC to take a different path, one that is looking at more of a facilitation, integration, looking at business cases and filling gaps. And this sort of diagram, which you've all got on the tables, this new UTMC glue, is where we kind of see UTMC operating and growing into over the coming years. So it's kind of a turning point for UTMC, and it's taken us a little while to get here, but I think it sets the way forward for UTMC in a very good state. And thinking about it, we've got quite a big user group as well, of maybe 100 or so members at the moment. So it's proven a good way for us to move forward. And I think what I would like to say is that if you're out there and you look at the diagrams we put there in the brochure, if there's anything you think we've missed or you would think we should focus on, please let us know, basically, because it's for you to shape as well as us.
Okay. Sarah, again, all change regarding national parking platform that the Smarter Parking Working Group has really been working closely with DFT on. Just explain what that means to the people in the room when you talk about the setting up of the consortium.
There's a limit to what I can say at the moment. There will hopefully be a bit more we can say at ParkX, but the aim is we're working with DFT to move the project from DFT into an industry-led organisation that will be run very similarly to DFT in the sense it will be a not-for-profit organisation that aims to help facilitate the aims of the National Parking Platform, so connectivity, an open platform and simplifying procurement.
Andy, let's not hold this up any longer because there's been a lot of work that you've put in both before, during and after for the third connected vehicle demonstration event at UTAC. Explain to me this time who was invited and then you can introduce the video we've put together.
Okay, so we put an invite out to everyone in the TTF working group if they had something that could be shown that was working in vehicles today. Many of the suppliers over in the exhibition were able to help us. And we invited some senior folk from DFT and DCIT and other organisations and a few local authority people to show them what's available right now. And we drove fire engines and police cars and blew off airbags and stuff. If only there was a video we could show of it.
Senior officials from various government departments were invited to UTAC's Proving Ground in Millbrook in Bedfordshire in April to see a series of demonstrations of the latest connected vehicle technology. The event, organised by the Transport Technology Forum's Connected Vehicle Working Group, showed a range of here and now technology that could be introduced to the roadside and into vehicles.
It's been really brilliant to come and see the real-world demonstration of so many different types of technologies here at UTAC. I think one of the things that is so compelling about this is seeing the partnership working between those who are developing these technologies and those who are using and deploying those technologies. Those conversations between local authorities, emergency services, and technology providers are so important if we're going to deliver these technologies with real impact in our road settings in the UK.
Delegates were taken out on an electric bus as used in London to see how digital traffic regulation orders could drive intelligent speed adaptation within buses, meaning they cannot go above the speed limit. Here, this display shows how the driver is pressing the throttle to the maximum, but still the bus can only go at the limit, and as it crossed from one limit threshold to another, was able to speed up. The bus also went through a roadside overheight detection system, which could be placed before a low bridge, for example. The vehicle triggered a warning on dashboard displays.
Caution, low bridge. Pedestrian crossing ahead.
2 pedestrian detection systems to make crossings safer were also demonstrated, not only triggering enhanced beacons or roadside signs, but also displaying warnings in vehicle.
Pedestrian on crossing ahead. Prepare to stop.
There are 2 things about today's visit to UTAC that I think stand out for me. One is actually in the extent to which some of the technology has moved on over the course of the 3 visits we've made. In our first visit, we'd end up with screens festooned across a windscreen. Now we're seeing an integration of data coming through into a single screen that's already built into the vehicle dashboard. This is a major step forward. But I think perhaps even more importantly this time is we're hearing more from the policy advisors and the policy makers about the real challenges they're wrestling with in order to get more of a conversation going about how transport technology can help and what it is the sector needs from those policymakers to make its deployment a reality.
The delegates from the Department for Transport, Department for Science, Innovation and Technology and Centre for Connected and Automated Vehicles saw remotely operated roadwork signals, green light optimal speed advisory solutions to reduce emissions from unnecessary stops, as well as red light enforcement technology,
Red light alert.
and connected flood warning signs triggered by sensors.
And this is really important because this allows people who spend their day thinking about policy, sometimes in quite an academic and abstract way, to see some of the potential outcomes and the potential deliverables around connected vehicle policy.
In addition, there were demonstrations of in-vehicle warnings of emergency vehicles or recovery trucks nearby.
We spent a long time looking at PowerPoints and what might the future look like and debating things such as what form of communications. You come here and you see things really working. You see things with proper fire engines, proper ambulances, proper police cars, proper recovery vehicles. You see data that's already available being used and going into production vehicles. It's what's here now and what could be here in a few months. Not a few years, while we still debate about PowerPoints and business cases and visions.
After time to meet the innovators delivering the cutting-edge solutions, the day ended with a demonstration of life-saving connected vehicle technology, eCall. There are millions of eCall-enabled vehicles on our roads which automatically trigger a 999 call when the airbag is deployed. So here, the airbag deployed led to a simulated emergency call and associated data.
I've just had a crash. Someone's gone in the back of me.
Okay, stay with the vehicle. We know where you are. We know where you are, so we will have responders on the way very shortly.
Okay, I can hear some sirens on the way, mate.
Then the deployment of a police vehicle and a series of warnings to software, such as the Waze navigation platform.
It's always fantastic to get my hands on some proper technologies and see the data actually being displayed in real-world demonstrations. But to be honest, the real joy of events like today is learning about how the ideas come about, learning about the pathway from the innovation, the conversations that happen between technology developers and users, and then seeing that come to life so quickly.
This was the third TTF connected vehicle demonstration day at the UTAC site, and not only showed how quickly the industry is moving on with new solutions, but also ensured that government is informed about how technology is, extremely cost-effectively, helping make our roads safer, greener, and more efficient.
So there you go. Also, it's interesting how technology moves on. When I was in broadcasting 30 years ago, we wouldn't have been able to do that at Millbrook because of the limits on cameras. We didn't surreptitiously use mobile phones, but we were able to, but you can't use bigger cameras because of the secret things they have there. So all that was recorded on 2 mobile phones and a GoPro. So I think it properly reflected what the day achieved, Andy. What was the reaction among the other delegates there to actually realizing about this stuff in the future, but it's actually here and now and can be deployed.
I think the main thing was that we managed to plug lots of things together into the, and I've already given Steve Gooding £1 for this, ecosystem of stuff. So we had nobody in a silo that just did stuff. We had somebody that collected data that passed it on to somebody else that processed it and put it in a vehicle and then put it in something else. So that was the main thing for me. And the other thing was it was a good rehearsal for the World Congress demonstrations that we're trying to put together in, I think it's 840 days now, time. So if you're interested in the World Congress and you've got stuff to show, come and talk to me, please.
And also thanks again to George from Chaos Systems for the amazing amount of work he did there. He won't be able to get his head out of the door by the end of this session. Shamala, you said that we're really becoming now your working group is becoming really important within the wider EV deployment industry. What sort of ways are the TTF beginning to have a sort of wider effect with people?
I think it's about showing the new innovative solutions that are coming to the market. It is not that easy for local authorities to capture those innovative solutions. So through this working group, we are able to bring those or showcase those to the local authority typically, and also make those connections and provide that information really.
Dave, I'm going to come to the conversation we had in the round table yesterday in a moment, but you weren't in the video because actually you're kind of giving us an update on a meeting you had yesterday with Streetwise. But one of the things that came out of the round table I'll touch on is the fact that we're not talking about local silos when it comes to transport technology. It's actually at least regional, if not national or international. And that's exactly what you're working on Streetwise. So what happened just quickly remind people what Streetwise is and just give us a quick summary of what you talked about yesterday.
So Streetwise is a closed group of the devolved administrations and the road operators in the United Kingdom. Seamless travel environment for efficient transport in the Western Isles of Europe is what Streetwise stands for, a real mouthful. But what we try to do is, obviously this morning, we've heard a lot of real good information from DFT. We have a large number of English authorities in the room, but people want to travel from Land's End to John O'Groats. People want to travel from Bangor to Belfast. So we need to make sure that those connected vehicles, the AI, that journey can be made across those borders. So we don't want people traveling down the M4, coming to the Prince of Wales Bridge and all queue at cars because they can't understand and travel on the rest of the M4 to go down through to West Wales. So Streetwise as a group, we take all the good learning that's obviously focused with DFT and the bigger budgets of national highways, and we share the information. So, collaboration, partnership, dealing with all of that is so important. And that's really the key aim of Streetwise, is making sure that those standards apply right across the United Kingdom to make those journeys possible.
And Shamala said in her video that one of the things that she's encouraging is actually for authorities to copy each other's homework. I guess that's what you are doing at Streetwise as well. What happened in yesterday's meeting?
So some of the discussions yesterday, we recognise there's a shortage of skilled staff, the training. How do we get the younger element into the industry? But the big topic dealt with obsolescence. I think all of us will recognise that many of our roads, our motorway network around the UK were built sort of 30, 40 years ago. The technology that was put in then is all end of life. A lot of suppliers have gone into administration. So we talk about sharing the best practice, seeing what things that have trialled. In Wales, we've trialled certain things, the emergency roadside telephones that Scotland, Northern Ireland are looking at. We just sharing the knowledge. And again, that sharing of the homework is so important because we don't have the resources available to sort of keep doing trial after trial after trial. So if somebody's trialed something and it works, then steal with pride is what we're thinking.
Fantastic. So just quickly, we'll go down the line. What is your sort of main focus between now and when we meet at the autumn update in, funnily enough, the autumn here at TTF?
So from the Streetwise, it's keeping the collaboration going. There's been a few new members of staff in some of the organizations. So it's building up those relationships, understanding the problems, working with the great supply chain that we have within the industry. You know, there are so many great suppliers who are in the room next door, making sure that communication, understanding, they need to understand our problems, and so we need to explain it to them and then see what solutions they come up with and how we can deploy them out on the road network.
Andy?
Data, 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 and data.
Fantastic. Sarah?
I'll probably taking it a bit more, making it a bit more simple, looking at what local authorities are doing and then case studying that back. So looking at how Shamala does it, copying other people's homework and looking at the big picture. So there's big projects we're working on. There's a national parking platform, national persistent evaders database, and like drone technology, but actually how they relate to each local authority and how practically that can probably save you money is where most local authorities are looking for advice on. So that's what we're trying to deliver, mini case studies that show how these big ideas actually relate to individual local authorities.
Can I just, as a punter, say that there's actually a news story going on in 12 minutes' time on both Highways News and the TTF website about the MPP plans. The photo was taken of me on a day out in Suffolk, or by me on a day out in Suffolk, with the absolute joy that I could pay for my parking using whichever app and not having to go through and then re-download it and everything else. So from a user point of view, what is actually happening can't be spread out across the whole country soon enough, as far as I'm concerned. Steve, your next plan, please.
Well, yeah, our next plan really is to figure out what we're going to be doing for the next 2 to 3 years. I mean, we've already started on a pathway with the real-time information group and bus connectivity and bus priority, but that's just a start. What we need to figure out next is what are we going to do and where should we best place UTMC's resources and efforts to get the best value for what we're doing.
And Shamala, you have precisely 30 seconds.
Yeah, I think I've already mentioned what we are doing before next TTF conference. We'll be holding these two webinars, but we are also carrying out some trials with new innovative solutions in relation to charging infrastructure like cross-pavement gully channel and other solutions that are in the market. So hopefully I should be in a position to provide some outcomes.
Brilliant. These people have day jobs. They put an awful lot of time into supporting the working groups for the TTF and delivering real solutions that is making a difference every day to the travelling public. So a big round of applause, please. Thank you.